So, let's talk about a pretty wild idea. Imagine if a merchant's day-to-day performance was tied directly to their cash flow, and the whole thing was run by an AI. We are literally talking about turning the entire process of getting paid into a game you can win or lose.
I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. What if every single move you made as a business owner, every package you sent out the door instantly changed your score? And that score was the only thing that decided how fast you got your hands on your money.
Now, to really get why this is such a huge deal, we have to look at the old way of doing things. You see, for decades, the payment industry has been using these risk models that are, let's be honest, kind of clunky and slow.
And the difference is just, well, it's night and day. The old way is what you call set it and forget it. A risk level gets assigned once, and then it takes forever to change. But the AI model, it's alive, it's continuous, it's instant. It's not looking at what happened last month, it's looking at what's happening right this second.
And that brings us to the new solution. A system that's not just a passive gateway for money. Nope. It's more like an intelligent guard that is always on duty. This is where we get to meet the AI underwriter. At the very heart of this thing is the AI risk engine. And really, the best way to wrap your head around it is to think of it like a live credit score, but for every single merchant. This isn't some static number. It's a living, breathing grade that can shoot up or drop down based on every transaction, every single shipment. And right there, that's the fundamental shift. The system is not just some dumb pipe that money flows through. It's an active underwriter, constantly assessing the risk of every single transaction and making smart calls to protect the capital.
Okay, so let's get to the main event, the payout game. This is where we see exactly how a merchant's performance, their grade, gets turned into cold, hard cash in an instant.
You know, the process itself is beautifully simple. A merchant ships a package. The AI immediately gobbles up all that logistics data, tracking numbers, who the carrier is, how fast it's moving. Every piece of that data is like a little signal of trust. Based on all that, a grade is assigned, and boom, that grade immediately decides how much cash gets unlocked. So, how do you win this game? Well, picture this. You're a top-notch merchant. You ship your stuff out lightning fast, you use great, reliable carriers, and your tracking info is always on point. You, my friend, are a grade A player. And here's the prize. For that rock-solid grade A performance, the AI system can release up to 80% of your money the second that package gets its first scan. Just think about that. Think about what that does for a business's cash flow. It's an absolute game changer. You're not waiting around for weeks. You're getting paid right away for just being good at your job.
But, of course, every game has to have consequences, right? So what happens when a merchant starts to get a little sloppy? Maybe their shipping times lag, or they decide to use a cheaper, less reliable carrier. The AI sees all these little signals, not as just mistakes, but as flashing red lights for rising risk. And this is where the system gets really, really smart.
The result is immediate. The AI doesn't wait for a weekly review. It instantly demotes that merchant, throttling their cash flow from that nice 80% all the way down to 30%, or even to 0 if things look really bad. The system basically turns down the cash spigot long before there's a real problem.
So what all this creates is something way more powerful than just a system of rewards and punishments. It's a brilliant self-correcting loop that helps out the entire ecosystem. It actually starts to change behavior naturally on a massive scale.
And that's the real win-win-win here. The good merchants? They now have a huge incentive to be even better because faster shipping means faster cash. The bad actors and fraudsters? They just get automatically starved of capital before they can do any damage. And, of course, the banking partner. Their money is being protected transaction by transaction by an AI guard that literally never sleeps. So all of this leaves us with one last really big question to think about. When you have a system that can measure and react to performance this quickly, this instantly, does it create a new, more powerful kind of trust? Or does it just make trust totally irrelevant, replacing it with the cold, hard logic of data? It's a fundamental change in how we even think about doing business.